In the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, on a rain-soaked alley in the heart of the bustling city, a young man huddled against the cold brick wall, his legs twisted and useless beneath him. "Please don't hurt me, I can't walk," he begged, his voice trembling as shadows loomed over him, thugs with cruel grins, ready to rob what little he had. But fate had other plans that night, for a poor girl with nothing but a kind heart was about to step into his life and change everything. If this story grips you from the start, hit that like button right now. It helps spread tales of hope like this one far and wide. And if you're not subscribed yet, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another emotional journey that reminds us all of the power of compassion. The city was New York, a place where dreams soared high in skyscrapers but crashed hard on the sidewalks below. Alexander Harrington, or Alex, as he called himself these days, hadn't always been this broken shell of a man. 25 years ago, he was the cherished son of Victor Harrington, the ruthless CEO of Harrington Enterprises, a tech empire worth billions. Victor was a man who built his fortune on innovation and cutthroat deals, but his world shattered one fateful afternoon at a crowded park. Little Alex, just 5 years old, wandered off chasing a butterfly, and in the blink of an eye, he vanished. Kidnapped by a desperate couple who couldn't have children of their own, Alex was raised in secrecy far from the luxury he was born into. They named him Jake, fed him lies about his origins, and when their own troubles mounted, debts, addictions, they abandoned him at 16, leaving him to fend for himself on the streets. But life on the streets was unforgiving. A hit-and-run accident 2 years later left Alex paralyzed from the waist down, his spine shattered beyond repair by a driver who never stopped. Doctors said he'd never walk again, and without insurance or family, he was discharged to a shelter that soon kicked him out for overcrowding. Now, at 30, Alex survived by begging in the shadows, his once bright eyes dulled by pain and isolation. He crafted small wooden trinkets from scavenged scraps, tiny birds and stars, to sell for pennies, but mostly, he just existed, haunted by fragmented memories of a loving father he barely recalled. "Why me?" he'd whisper to the night sky, clutching a faded photo he'd found in his kidnapper's attic, showing a man in a suit holding a laughing boy. It was all he had of his past. That rainy evening, as the thugs closed in, Alex's heart pounded. They were locals, notorious for preying on the vulnerable. "Hand over the cash, cripple," one snarled, kicking at his wheelchair's wheel. Alex had scraped together $10 that day, enough for a hot meal, but he knew resisting would mean worse. "Please," he repeated, his voice cracking, "I can't walk. Just leave me be." The leader laughed, grabbing his collar, when a sharp voice pierced the alley. "Get away from him. Now." It was a girl, no older than 22, drenched in the downpour, her thin coat doing little to shield her from the cold. She held a broken umbrella like a weapon, her eyes fierce despite her frail frame. Her name was Lily Thompson, a poor girl from the Bronx who worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices by day and waitressing at a dingy diner by night, to support her ailing grandmother. Lily had no family left besides Gran. Her parents died in a fire when she was 10, leaving her to navigate foster care's harsh realities. She knew poverty's bite, the way it gnawed at your soul, but she also knew kindness. Gran had taught her that a single act of compassion could light up the darkest path. The thugs turned, smirking at the sight of her. "Mind your business, sweetheart," the leader growled. But Lily didn't back down. She pulled out her phone, pretending to dial 911, her voice steady. "I've got the cops on speed dial, and this alley has cameras. Walk away, or you'll regret it." It was a bluff. Her phone was dead from the rain, but something in her tone made them hesitate. Muttering curses, they slunk off into the night, leaving Alex staring at her in disbelief. "Why'd you do that?" he asked, wiping rain from his face. Lily knelt beside him, her hands gentle as she adjusted his soaked blanket. "Because no one deserves to be hurt like that. Come on, let's get you out of this rain." She helped him into his wheelchair, pushing him toward the diner where she worked. It was closing time, but her boss, a gruff but kind-hearted man named Marco, let them in. Over steaming cups of coffee and leftover pie, Alex shared bits of his story, the accident, the streets, the vague memories of a lost life. Lily listened, her heart aching. "You're not alone anymore," she said softly. "I don't have much, but I have a couch at home. Stay tonight." That night turned into days. Lily's tiny apartment, shared with Gran, became Alex's temporary haven. Gran, a wise old woman with arthritis that kept her bedridden most days, took to Alex immediately. "You've got a fighter's spirit, boy," she'd say, sharing stories of her own hardships during the Great Depression. Lily juggled her jobs while helping Alex, wheeling him to free clinics, encouraging him to sell his trinkets at local markets. But challenges loomed. Alex's depression was a heavy fog. He'd lash out in frustration, pushing Lily away. "I'm a burden," he'd snap after a particularly bad day when his wheelchair got stuck in a pothole. Lily, exhausted from 12-hour shifts, would cry in the bathroom, wondering if she could keep going. Yet, she persisted, seeing the good in him, the way he carved a wooden flower for Gran, making her smile for the first time in weeks. One evening, as Lily scrolled through her phone during a break, a news alert popped up. Victor Harrington, tech mogul, offers $1 million reward for info on lost son. The article included an age-progressed photo that looked eerily like Alex. Her heart raced. "Alex, look at this," she said, showing him. He froze, the faded photo from his past matching the man's face in the article. That's the man from my dreams," he whispered. Doubt crept in. Was it possible? Lily urged him to get a DNA test, but fear held him back. What if it's not true? What if I'm just a nobody? The emotional turmoil peaked when Alex had a panic attack, hyperventilating in his chair. Lily held him, whispering, "You're somebody to me. Let's find out together." They faced bureaucratic hurdles. Getting the test required paperwork Alex didn't have. Lily used her waitressing tips to hire a cheap lawyer, who navigated the system. Meanwhile, Gran's health declined. She needed medication they couldn't afford. Lily worked extra shifts, her body aching, but she never complained. Alex, inspired by her resilience, started teaching himself online skills using Lily's old laptop, coding basics, drawing from hazy childhood memories of his father's tech world. "If I'm his son, maybe I can prove it," he said. Their bond deepened. Late-night talks revealed vulnerabilities. Lily confessed her fear of abandonment, Alex his shame over his disability. In a tender moment, under the apartment's dim light, they shared their first kiss, a spark of hope amid the chaos. The DNA results came back positive. Victor Harrington, now in his 60s and battling loneliness after his wife's death from grief years ago, was overjoyed. He flew to New York immediately, his private jet landing at dawn. The reunion was tearful, Victor embracing Alex, sobbing, "My boy, I never stopped looking." But joy mixed with pain. Alex felt resentment. "You have everything. Why didn't you find me sooner?" Victor explained the endless searches, the private investigators, the false leads that broke his heart. "I built an empire, but without you, it meant nothing." Integration into Victor's world was no easy feat. Alex moved into the Harrington mansion, a sprawling estate with marble floors and ocean views, but he felt out of place. His paralysis made navigating the opulent stairs a nightmare until Victor installed ramps and elevators overnight. Corporate sharks at Harrington Enterprises whispered about the beggar heir, questioning his legitimacy. Alex faced physical therapy sessions that pushed him to his limits, grueling hours relearning mobility with experimental tech Victor funded. Emotionally, he struggled with identity. Who was he now? Jake the street survivor or Alexander the CEO's son? Lily, invited to stay, became the bridge. She refused Victor's offers of money at first, insisting on earning her way, but accepted a job in the company's community outreach program. Her presence grounded Alex. When board members plotted to undermine him, Lily uncovered their scheme through overheard conversations, saving his position. Gran moved in too, receiving top medical care that extended her life. But the biggest challenge came when Alex's kidnappers resurfaced, drawn by the news, demanding hush money. Victor wanted them prosecuted harshly, but Alex, with Lily's counsel, chose forgiveness after a mediated meeting. "You've suffered too," he told them. "Let this end." As months turned to years, Alex rose in the company, innovating accessible tech for the disabled, wheelchairs with AI navigation, apps for the voiceless. Lily, now his wife, led initiatives for the homeless, turning their story into a foundation that helped thousands. Gran passed peacefully at 90, her last words praising their love. Victor retired, finding peace in grandfatherhood when Lily and Alex welcomed their daughter, named Hope. In the end, Alex stood, wheeled, at a TED Talk stage, sharing his journey. "I begged not to be hurt because I couldn't walk, but a poor girl taught me to run with my heart. Kindness changes everything." The audience rose in applause, inspired by the message. No matter how lost or broken, one act of compassion can rewrite your story. If this tale moved you, like and subscribe. Your support helps us share more stories that prove hope is always within reach. What's your story of kindness? Share in the comments below.